Welcome into Red Empress Tarot. I'm Patty. I'm an intuitive, a reader, and a healer on the twin flame path myself, here to read you a message for your twin flame journey. I believe that if you have found this video and this channel, you've been guided to do so. If you love the content, please subscribe. I'd love to have you as part of the tribe. Make sure that you tap into your intuition. Make sure that you are following your internal guidance. It's really important. And every thumbs up to the video is so valuable. I love every one of you. Thank you so much. And let's go ahead and get into the reading. Hello and welcome to your mirror message. I've been out for quite some time, several weeks at least. I just needed a little break from reading for a while. My energy was not in a very good place. And I only like to read when I feel like my energy is really nice and clean and clear. I just feel like that's important for you guys to get the best messages possible. So I'm back. I actually did the mirror message 2 weeks ago. And I did it after a private reading. So I know my equipment was working, and there was not a lick of sound. Like, there was no sound. There were two small blips. And it's just, whenever that happens to me, it's just like not supposed to come out. So anyway, I did what I was guided to do. I took my break, back and ready to go. So I'm going to do things a little bit differently from now on. I'm only going to do the mirror message once a month. I was in really heavy energy. Like, I was in kind of a down place. And I was just feeling like reading the mirror message every week was too much, because it doesn't feel like the energy shifts often enough. So I feel like once a month is going to be better. I'm going to do the twin flame torrent messages every week probably, and that's going to be more all channeled and more specific situations, so you'll be able to get in there and really tell if it's for you. And I'll give some markers at the end so you really know if it fits your energy and your connection. I want to do the best things I can to help people, and I want to make sure that I'm adjusting as I go, so that happens. So it's a learning curve, and bear with me, because I'm really working on doing the best things I can for you guys. So, yeah, let's go ahead and do the mirror message for today. So I'm going to be doing it a little bit differently than I usually do. I usually do head space, heart space, and possible actions. And I'm going to change it up to the same format that I do it in private readings. And it's my he said, she said spread. And it's going to be head space, heart space, and current blocks. I think that's more valuable information. What I'm finding as I go is that when I read, sometimes I read things that are just much further out than I'm thinking. And so the timelines are really sketchy. And I don't like to give timelines. I'm going to do my best to not do that anymore, because the energy is fluid and free will exists. And, people, things happen, people change their minds, whatever it is. And so I think it's going to be a lot more valuable to hear about the blocks that are happening, so you can work on your blocks, so you know what your person is working on, instead of sticking timelines in your head every week. I was just feeling really uncomfortable with that, and I feel like this is going to be a better way to give you more valuable information. So let's do it. Spirits, guides, angels, ancestors, protectors, thank you for being with me here today and always. Oh, this is not a good time for this. Guys, my stepfather died the day before yesterday. And all of a sudden I got a little jolt on that. So I'm still processing. Okay. I've been really calm about it. I haven't really. Okay. Sorry. I'm going to pause for just a second. Okay, I'm back. I'm better. Yeah, I just needed just a minute. compose myself. One of the reasons that I feel like I had this time off was to come back and talk about a couple of things, and I'm just going to do that really quick. So I'm going to put the beginning of the message, the timestamp for when the message actually begins in the comments. They're not in the comments, excuse me, I don't know what I'm talking about. In the description, like I always do, so you can skip over this if you want, but I really wouldn't suggest it if you're on the twin flame journey. First, I need to say that as a reader who is on the twin flame path myself, I have the same ups and downs and challenges and that you do. And so I usually am pretty good with the whole thing, and I've come to the place that I don't really talk about my personal journey way too much, but I will say that I've come to the place where I've really accepted the journey for what it is for the most part. I know my work, and I know my DM's work, and I'm no longer in the place where I'm doing that push-pull a lot. But there are times where it happens. I'm still human, none of us are perfect. A lot of readers out here are out here because they're on the twin flame path too, and they know what this feels like. Not all of them, clearly. Some of them don't even believe in it. But the ones that are, we don't always talk about our own journey. I think, I know for me, is because I don't want to cloud your messages. And I don't want to... I want to show that as a divine feminine, you can be strong in this journey. But I also need to show, as a divine feminine, that I also am vulnerable in this journey. It's not easy for anyone. Don't let anyone tell you that it is. It's very challenging. But you're given this challenge because you have the strength to overcome it. You have the strength to get through it. And it's called a journey because it's not a destination. All the good stuff is stuff you do along the way. I mean, I'm seeing like Wizard of Oz in my head. So, and it was like my favorite book when I was little. So, you see Dorothy, and she goes along her path, and she's on her yellow brick road, and she meets the Scarecrow, and she meets the Tin Man and the Lion, and she makes the most wonderful friends, and she has these experiences, and she overcomes, and she learns her own power, that kind of thing. I mean, she learned all those things on the way, not at the end. So, I mean, a lot of the gold in this journey is what you get on the way. So just remember, as you're doing this, you are doing it for yourself, not for a union, not for someone else. You're doing it to raise your own vibration and to heal and to ascend. And I know that those are just fancy words, right? You're doing it to live your best life. You're doing it to do the very best things that you can in the life that you have while you're here. And in doing so, in doing that, you learn so much on the way that you can help others with. So, I mean, it's like teaching someone to tie their shoes, right? I mean, if you have a little kid, whether it's yours or not, and you have mastered tying your shoes, when it's time for them to learn, you can help them, and then they can be successful in that too. And then someday they're going to teach someone else the same way that you taught them. And there's different ways to do it, whether you do, the rabbit around the tree thing or the bunny ears thing. I mean, everyone has a different way. What the knowledge you impart to other people from the things that you learn in your life is really, really valuable. So don't forget the journey, okay? Don't let this picture of union and what that's going to be like someday. Take away from all the things today. Really live in the today. And, you know, and I have to remind myself that sometimes. I was in a pretty dark place for few weeks. I was really feeling the frustration, and I got on the phone with a friend of mine who's also on the Twin Flame path, and her daughter did a reading for me. And as her daughter was doing the reading, she was saying all the things to me that I say to other people. And it was just like this beautiful reminder that we're all in this together, right? Make yourself some friends that get you, for one thing, because that is gold. I can't even tell you how good that felt to have someone pick me up and remind me. God, it's a really emotional day. Okay. Anyway, let's get into the reading. Okay. So we're looking at, I didn't even ground and protect. Hold on, let me get some water. Let all the messages that come out be for the highest good of all parties involved. Grounding. There we go. Telling you, grounding is beautiful. Changes all of my energy. The person that taught me how to ground, I will never be able to thank them enough. Okay. Protecting. Archangel Michael, surround me with your protection as I surround myself with a bubble of white light protection. Archangel Raphael, please be with me and my twin in healing, and please be with the collective in healing. And guys, remember to call on your angels. They can help you if you only ask. Okay. Divine Masculine's headspace at this current time. What's going on in Divine Masculine's headspace? Ace of Swords, Ten of Swords. What's going in Divine Masculine's heart space? What's going on in Divine Masculine's heart space? Divine Masculine's heart space. Palace of, I'm getting 2 cards at a time. Palace of Wands and Palace of Swords. Oh my gosh, 2 palaces. The palaces, extra cards in this deck are extra cards. They don't equate to another card in the tarot. They're their own thing. And we'll talk about those in a minute. But to get 1 is kind of rare. To get 2, I've never had 2 come out together before, ever. So that's really cool. Okay. Blocks for Divine Masculine right now. Tell me about blocks for Divine Masculine right now in this connection. Things he needs to work on, heal, overcome. Knight of Wands. Okay. Divine Feminine's headspace right now. Where's Divine Feminine's head right now? Where's Divine Feminine's head right now? All Wands and Swords for Divine Masculine. That's interesting. Divine Feminine's headspace right now, the Fool. Divine Feminine's heart space right now. Divine Feminine's heart space. Page of Swords. Flux for Divine Femme. Temperance. Of course. Okay. Bottom of the deck energy, we've got the 2 of Swords for Divine Masculine. I'm just going to leave that up here. Okay, let's clarify. Clarify this Ace of Swords, Ten of Swords combination for Divine Masculine. For his headspace. Clarify the Ace of Swords, Ten of Swords combination that we have here for Divine Masculine. Okay. Here it is. The Ten of Swords. Clarifying the Ten of Swords. Okay. I'm going to get some oracles on that in a minute. Clarify these palaces. Palace of Wands, Palace of Swords. Where are they here? Palace of Wands, Palace of Swords. This is a really beautiful Palace of Swords. I love it. It sounds like it might be a bad thing, but it's absolutely not. It's gorgeous. We'll talk about that in a minute. Wow. This might be my favorite one. The Tower. Look at how much the palaces and the Tower look alike. Interesting. Okay. Clarify the Knight of Wands in blocks for Divine Masculine. Clarify the Knight of Wands in blocks for Divine Masculine. We've got the Four of Coins and the Three of Coins. Okay. Which is Pentacles. Clarify the headspace for Divine Feminine. Oops, oh my gosh, my cards flew. Not just on the floor, but behind all my lights and stuff. Hold on 1 second. And they're face up, so I need them. I never need them anyway, but they were late. Taking a little work to get these, that might be significant as well. I also need to dust. Okay. 1 second. Way back there. Certainly need to dust under my dresser. Bad. Okay. We have got the 10 of Cups and the 8 of Cups, clarifying the Fool. Clarify this Page of Swords from Divine Feminine's heart space. This was curious for me. Clarify that Page of Swords. Wanted to flip out and then didn't want to flip out. Clarify that Page of Swords in Divine Feminine's heart space. Okay. Queen of Wands. Give me one more, please. Clarify that Page of Swords. Please clarify that Page of Swords. Queen of Swords reversed. Okay. Temperance. Clarify the Temperance in blocks, current blocks or challenges, things to overcome for Divine Femme. Ace of Wands in reverse. One more. Do I have it in reverse? I do not. Okay. The Nine of Cups. Bottom of the deck is the Five of Pentacles. Okay. So before I go into reading each column here, I want to talk about the energy at the bottom deck energy. So the first bottom deck energy here is the Two of Swords. This is the one that I always use for Divine Masculine. So it's this need to remove this blindfold and make a decision. There's some kind of decision that Divine Masculine needs to make right now. This is the overall energy, and everything else we're going to read pertains to the choice that he needs to make. And I want to point out in this card, this figure has two swords, okay, two relationships in hand. And it could be another romantic relationship. It could be just another relationship in life that is blocking Divine Masculine from coming forward to Divine Feminine. But there are two choices here, and one is very clear. Even in this blindfolded state, this figure is holding up one sword much higher than the other. So they know the choice they want to make, but they haven't made it yet. They're feeling a little stuck in making the choice, but they have the power to remove that blindfold and make it. So it's not wanting to see something, but Divine Masculine needs to open his eyes and see. And once he does that, the choice will be very clear. He can see that these swords are naturally at different levels. Overall energy for Divine Feminine is this Five of Pentacles. And this is like an after tarot card to me. So the Five of Pentacles is about kind of feeling abandoned, left out in the cold, that kind of energy. But this one actually feels like what happens after that. So you can see 4 pentacles here on the window, and 1 pentacle falling into the hand here, the outstretched hand. And so it's like being granted an Ace of Pentacles after an abandonment. The Divine Feminine is very ready to accept an offer. Okay, she's holding on with the 4 pentacles in the back. She's very much holding on to the connection and very much ready to accept that Ace of Pentacles when it comes. She's been feeling the abandonment. She's been feeling the out in the cold energy. And she's ready to move past it, is what this energy tells me. She's ready to accept that offer if it comes. And it has to be a good offer. It has to be a solid pentacle, a solid offer. It can't be wishy-washy. Okay? They're not dropping a flower in her hand. That's a pentacle. It's something of value. And I'm not talking money. I'm talking stability. Okay? It's a stable offer. And I'll look, when I do my respective piles, I'll pull some more of these. Okay. So I'm going to get 1 oracle card for this Ten of Swords, clarifying the Ten of Swords, because, oh my gosh, we need to clarify that. Okay. What is it? Decision. This is the Judgment card in this deck. Making a judgment call, verdict, final choice. Okay. I want one for the palaces and the tower too, because that's another enigma that we pulled. Ooh, look at that. Sex. Craving, need, physical touch. I want one more for that. That's a little vague for me. Clearly, it's something we like. Hiding. Oh, okay. Completion of a path. Power and silent. Okay, there's a bunch of stuff that came out there. Hold on. I've got some more on the ground, but they're face down. Okay. Let's get a clarifier for that. Knight of Wands. Whoa. Intervention. Calm after the storm and obscurity. I'll pull some for Divine Femme when we get there. Let's start with what we got. Get some water. Okay. Divine Masculine's headspace. Divine Masculine's headspace. We've got the Ace of Swords, and we've got the Ten of Swords, clarified by the Ten of Swords, and decision. So in his headspace, this is all mental clarity. This is all swords, decision, Ten of Swords, Ten of Swords. So I want to show both of these Ten of Swords cards next to each other, because all Ten of Swords cards are kind of different. In the classic Ten of Swords cards, the 10 swords are actually in the masculine's back. And he's been backstabbed, hurt and hurt and hurt, and he's kind of lying dead on the ground. In these cards, neither of those things are true. I want to point out that in the Ten of Swords that came out originally with the Ace of Swords, the masculine is in a very protective mode, okay? And we've got the 10 swords being lifted or held out of the back by the divine. There's a protection here. There is an end of a painful cycle happening as we speak. The 10, clarifying the 10 like this is telling me, look, really pay attention to the fact that there is a painful cycle ending for the masculine. And the painful cycle ending is giving him some kind of extreme mental clarity. See the triangle there? We see the triangle over the third eye a lot, and that, you know, that this triangle with the little line on it is a symbol for air, the symbol of air, which is clarity, which is all about getting clear in your head. And this is masculine's headspace. So masculine is very clear. about the ending of a painful cycle, a karmic cycle that he's been in. And this clarity, this double clarity that he's received about this ending is allowing him to make a decision, a final choice about a karmic cycle. Okay. So, masculine's heart space. This one is interesting. So we have the Palace of Wands. I look at the palace as a home. This is building a home for yourself, and I'm not talking about a physical home. It could be that the masculine is really into like buying a house or renovating a house or something like that right now, and his heart space. But this is more preparing, preparing a home in your heart. You know, your home doesn't have anything to do with walls or nails or you know, all the physical things that go into the, you know, the kitchen and the bathroom and, you know, what furniture you put in it. It's not really about that. It's about how you feel when you're there. Okay, so we got the Palace of Wands in Divine Masculine in his heart space right now. The Palace of Wands is about being really passionate about where your home is and who it's with. And so his heart space is getting real clear on where his home is. The Palace of Swords here, that's about being clear in your head about where your home is too. And you have then clarifying that, the Tower. There's been a Tower moment for this Divine Masculine, either very recently or right now or about to happen. And I'm not going to give a timeline again, but this is something that it's a major arcana, so it's extremely significant. So you want to really pay attention to this. This Tower is coming for the masculine about where his home is. And his heart space that is shifting. Okay, he's understanding his home is with the Divine Feminine. It is not with anyone else. It's that simple. There is a Tower moment happening or about to happen for Divine Masculine, or maybe just happened. And I want you to see that when you look at this Tower, only the top is popped off. His home is intact. It just blew the top off. He can put that back together. He can rebuild this home. His foundation isn't shaken completely within himself, okay? Okay, clarifying that, we had sex, which there is clearly probably been a lack of really healthy physical contact for Divine Masculine. This is what I feel like in the heart space, that this is a masculine who one of his love languages is physical touch. And that's not something that has been satisfied. And in his heart, he needs this in his home. He wants this in his home. He wants healthy physical touch, okay? Hiding, refuge in work, in material attachment. I think these are also, I think, part of the Tower. Yeah, let's put all these together because they relate to the Tower. So look, I think that when we're talking about healthy physical touch, right? I think this masculine has been hiding behind money, behind sex that was empty, behind his own silence. And this Tower is bringing in a completion and time for a new path here. The road for this nonsense is over for this masculine. In his heart space, he knows. He's had his Tower moment. These things are no longer in his heart. They're no longer part of his life anymore. He's not interested in that anymore. Empty sex, empty money, being silent to feminine. It's time for a new path here. This Tower has brought it on. And through that happening, he's now standing in his power. This is a clear out. This is a clear out. He's preparing a home for the good things. And this stuff, this rubbish that was kind of meaningless is on its way out. Like he's really in his power now. Blocks for divine masculine right now. Let's see what they are. Knight of Wands, that player energy. And we saw the sex card over here. For this masculine, empty sex was a problem. And this is a block that he's clearing right now. We've got the Four of Coins. He's been kind of holding on to this one. You know, I think that this masculine's been doing a lot of self-work, but the kind of meaningless sex thing is something that he held on to for some time. Maybe it was a coping mechanism for this masculine. And, you know, people that have childhood wounds around sex, if you were abused in some way or neglected, abandoned, rejected. I mean, sexual wounds can come from a variety of places. But I feel like this masculine had some kind of wound that made him kind of turn to sex for validation. And he really held on to that for some time. So he's still clearing this. With the Three of Coins, he's really working on a new foundation for himself that isn't built upon that. Where his validation, his strong foundation has nothing to do with empty sex. Intervention. There's been some kind of divine intervention here. Course correction for him. That's what's happening with that. So this is going to get cleared out. This is a block that's getting cleared out. We've got obscurity and calm after the storm. Divine protection here. You know, the feminine may not be aware of any of this, and that might be a divine protection. She couldn't see it, but that's okay because this is masculine's path to walk. This is not hers. It's not about the individual things that happen. It's about the result at the end. That's what we're looking for. And we've got the calm after the storm. In dispelling this block, in really working on making this no longer part of divine masculine's identity or his self-worth, that outside validation from multiple partners, that kind of thing. When he dispels that, there's going to be a lot of peace for him. He's going to feel like he has room to breathe and rest. He doesn't need to keep that up anymore. Okay. Let's look at divine feminine side here. Okay. So divine feminine's headspace, we got the Fool. And then clarifying that, we have the Ten of Cups and the Eight of Cups. Yeah, divine feminine in her headspace, she's really preparing for a healthy, happy love union. She's ready to go on that journey, and she's leaving behind anything that doesn't serve it anymore. She's no longer staying in any house that doesn't provide that. She's no longer staying in anyone else's house that doesn't provide that. It's a real leaving of karmic situations. It's a departure from the old, ready to step into the new. We get a clarifier on that from the Modern Love Oracle. Whoops. Okay, I'm going to take the top one, which is home. Safe space, belonging, family. With the Ten of Cups here, that's exactly what that is. This is in her headspace. This is what she's preparing. A safe space. I think she's preparing a space for the masculine by walking away from the things that don't serve her too. Maybe she's cleaning out closets. Maybe she's opening a drawer for him. Maybe she's getting rid of clutter, out with the old and unneeded, and in with the fresh and kind of open space is what I'm getting. It's clearing space for a happy, healthy connection, whether that's with masculine or with someone else. Okay, it's just about wanting this beautiful home and beautiful life and preparing for it by leaving behind patterns, addictions, whatever it is that was blocking this for the feminine. Okay. So in her heart space, the Page of Swords, the Queen of Wands, and the Queen of Swords in reverse. Let's get another card for that too. I just saw Intimacy on the bottom of the deck. Okay. Just kind of flashed out at me. Clarify this. Did something flip? Page, Up in Smoke. Okay, I'm going to get one more. And this, remember when I pull these cards, they can have a lot of different meanings. These cards are created intuitively. And so they have suggestions on them, but you get what you get from it. It's a way for your guides, the divine, to speak to you and get across whatever message it needs to come out. I didn't even make a book for these cards when I created them because I wanted people to use them absolutely intuitively. Breaking free, okay. So, the Page of Swords in Divine Feminine's headspace, clarified by the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Swords in reverse. Also with Breaking Free and Up in Smoke. What I feel like is in Divine Feminine's heart, there has been some real waiting energy. With this Page of Swords, really, you know, a lot of people use this as the spying card, the just like watching and waiting card. Okay, so in Divine Feminine's heart, she's been kind of watching and waiting for some time. Maybe a long time. But she's this really passionate, alive person with a lot to give and a lot to do in life. I get the Queen of Swords in reverse here is telling me that she doesn't want, in her heart, she does not want to be cutting or cold. Okay, she's just felt like she's been through so many emotions, so much passion, so much in her head, so much thinking. I'm getting like circular thinking, round and round. That she's decided that she wants to lead with passion in her life, and she wants to let go of anything that makes her feel less loving and passionate, is what I'm getting with the Queen of Swords in reverse. She does not want to be the Queen of Swords. She doesn't want to just have to cut people off. I feel like this feminine has been in that energy of cutting things out left and right, which can be really, really helpful when you're figuring out what serves you and what doesn't serve you, and what's good for your life and what's not good for your life, but you could take it too far. So I think she's putting the brakes on this cutting out thing and being really careful about the choices she makes now. It's like, it's so easy. Have you ever like gone to clean out a closet and you clean out everything you don't want, but then you go a little crazy and you're like, I don't need this, I don't need this, I don't need this. And you throw away stuff that you maybe have wanted. So I think it's kind of like a putting on the brakes energy on that. And then Breaking Free and Up in Smoke, it feels that kind of feels like it goes with it. So, I mean, she's been just lighting fire to anything, cutting out anything that doesn't serve her. I think she's breaking free from that pattern. She's like, I think she did an overcorrection. You know, when you're teaching someone how to drive and they want to like turn the wheel way far, and when you really only need to turn it just a little bit to correct. And that's that learning not to overcorrect, because that's just going to get you wrecked, right? I feel like that feminine in her heart space, she's breaking free from the overcorrection. She's finding a balance, a healthy balance. Yeah. I don't think she's going to hang out in any waiting energy now, though. I think there's a real contrast between the Page of Swords and the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands is a go-getter. They go after what they want. They are empowered. And then the Page of Swords just hangs back and waits because they feel like they can't do anything. And there's like, it's like a fighting here. It's like a fighting energy. And the fighting energy kind of led to cutting out things. But I feel like the Divine Feminine in her heart space is like, okay, we're finding our balance. We're finding our balance. Blocks for the Divine Feminine. We have the Temperance, the Ace of Wands in reverse, and the Nine of Cups. Let me get one clarifier here. Or whatever Spirit wants to give me. Sometimes I say one and it's three. We'll see. I take what I get. Clarify the Temperance. I got a real intuitive hit when I pulled the Temperance. I understand what it means, but I want to see if there's further messages. Okay. We got taking and we got align. Okay. So the Temperance card here, this is a very kind of specific Temperance card, and it's different than your usual. Hold on, let me pull them this way. Okay, so in this Temperance card, she's not holding two cups. There's two rings. There's one ring that contains water, and there's one ring that contains fire. So this Temperance card is about tempering your emotions with your passion. Okay, and so Divine Feminine, one of her blocks right now is tempering her emotional nature with her passionate nature. The Ace of Wands here in reverse, there has been an inability to have the new beginning, the passionate new beginning that's desired. Okay, and it's interesting that we got fire here, and then the other clarifier is cups, and we had water and fire. Spirit speaks how they speak. So the Nine of Cups, this particular Nine of Cups is about emotional stops and starts and stops and starts here. You guys who watch my channel regularly have seen me explain this card, but it's not just a Nine of Cups. There's a Three of Cups, which is a third-party situation. There's an Ace of Cups, which is a new beginning. Ace of Cups, which is a new beginning. Another third-party situation. Another Ace of Cups here. There's been stop, start, stop, start in Feminine's life, and it's not necessarily all third-party situations, but what it is false starts and stops. So it's been really hard for the Feminine to completely temper her passion with her emotions because she hasn't been able to have the new start that she's wanted. And in the past, there have been so many stops and starts, it just hasn't felt right. So there's this desire to balance emotion and passion, get aligned. Again, balance, get in touch with Spirit. And with taking here, one of the words you'll see on there is unbalanced. So Divine Feminine, one of your blocks and challenges right now is to balance in the face of not having the new passionate new start that you're wanting. You have to learn to align with yourself before you have that. That's one of your blocks. So start meditating a little more, get aligned more, okay? And it's not just aligning with Spirit, it's coming in a balance within yourself without the new beginning that you're wanting with your masculine. You've got to be in a balanced place first. This Five of Pentacles, you know, you're ready for your new start. You feel ready for your new start. You want to accept that offer when it comes in, but it's not coming right now. And you have to be in the place where, you know, Divine Masculine, he's got to come to the place where he can take that blindfold off and make the choice. And until he does, in that process, you can't let his energy, his indecisiveness, knock you off balance. You feel, what I'm getting with the stop, start, what I'm getting is not other relationships. What I'm getting is you feel masculine coming. You feel him breaking free from things. And then something happens for him and he pulls back and he doesn't come. And then you feel it again, because this is the energy I've been feeling, and it's one of the reasons I've been having a hard time lately, and I had to realign myself, is because I would see it and I would feel the breaking free from toxicity, from karmic situations, and I would feel him coming, and then something would happen and he'd pull back. And there's this like back and forth energy, this almost almost no thing going on. And it's really, really hard to manage that on the divine feminine side when the divine masculine is doing that. Almost no, not ready. Almost no, not ready. You've really got to stay balanced in the face of that. It's a challenge, but it's your challenge, divine feminines. Okay, you can do this. All right. So divine masculine, I just want to see a few cards down. So he's got to take that blindfold off, right? He's got to really come into balance himself and his independence from whatever karmic situation is happening in his life. He needs to gain independence from that situation. Pulling that blindfold off and making that choice is going to give him that independence. Really, it's going to bring in abundance for him. And then he will be able to offer that Ace of Cups, that new beginning in love. But that has to happen first, okay? With the Five of Coins here, we see that the feminine wants the offer. We see that she feels like that's going to bring her an amazing amount of happiness, okay, with the Sun. And here's that offer, right? This is really all in her energy. When is the offer coming? The King of Cups isn't talking, right? He feels a lot, but he's not talking yet. He's really still at this page level when it comes to the offer. You have to give him the chance to really recognize and put down the other pentacle and clear out this other karmic situation in his life, whether it's another person or not. It could be just his feelings about the past. It could be his feelings about the future. It could be anything. There's a lot of swords over here for masculine, so he's in his head a lot. But look, victory's coming. You just have to be patient. Patient. And there's the Queen of Cups. There's a divine counterpart for the King of Cups. You are divine counterparts, okay? Just, with this Hermit, you got to give him his time. If you give him his time, look, he will put in the effort and the energy. Okay. All right, loves, this has been your mirror message. I hope it helped you. I will be back next month with another. I will be back later this week with a Twin Flame Torrent reading, which is more specific little individual situations that are all channeled. We'll have channeled messages, channeled songs, all kinds of different stuff. Love you guys, and I'll see you next time.